We're going to be discussing the 5 reasons as to why your lash lifts are not turning out how you want them to turn out. I know you probably see on Instagram there are so many lash artists that are getting such dramatic lifts, and you're probably wondering, why are you like this? And it could be down to shield placement, where you're placing your product, your training, your isolation, the amount of adhesive you're using. There are so many different aspects. So I'm going to be covering 5 different reasons today as to why your lash lifts are probably not turning out as you want them. And all of these are, again, not necessarily taught in your training. Your training that you're going to receive with anyone that I found doesn't matter what brand they are, if they're great, if they're small, it's always the most basic training, and it does not set you up to be able to leave your school or your training college with the best knowledge. It's just not good. So I am gonna tell you on here why it's not working. So number 1, the main reason is you're using the wrong shields. So a lot of the time in school, what they're going to teach us how to use a basic shield, which is a baby doll shield, which is the basic shields that we are given from every single company. They use the same shields. Now these shields are great. There are other shields available. So you've got the L-shaped shield, you've got the Catch-a-Vinog shield. I will explain all of these in a different video, but as of now, let's just keep the basics. What we're taught in any training is that if you have large lashes or long lashes, you use the large shield. If you have medium lashes, you use the medium shield. If you have short lashes, you use the small shield. This could not be further from the truth. So it does take experience to get to know this, but again, when you're training, this should also be covered. So for instance, when I have a client that comes in and they have really long lashes, and I will ask them, what is your desired result today? Do you want dramatic? Do you want more natural? What is your preference? The majority of clients, if they're coming in for a lash lift, they want a dramatic look. They're not coming in to have a natural lift. They're paying to have a nice lift. So if they always say dramatic and they have long lashes, I will always use a medium shield. If you're using a large shield, you will still get a nice result, but it's not going to be dramatic. So rule of thumb is you always go down a size if you want to have drama, and you go up a size if you want to have a natural lift. Again, don't listen to what they teach you in school. It's not always necessary. So if someone has long lashes, 99.9% of the time, I am using a medium shield. Now again, the shield type depends on what they want. If they want uber dramatic, then I'm going to use the hybrid LC shield, and if they want a more baby doll lift, I'm going to use the normal baby doll shield. So again, it's so important to have an array of shields within your salon. You need to have at least 10 different shapes to pick from to make sure you're using the right one for your client's desires. So there are also a lot of shields out there that are marketed to help you and marketed to give you a better lift, and they're marketed at a much higher price. And shields I'm talking about are the shields that have got grooves on them. So there are a few companies right now that are creating these new shields that have got the grooves, which basically helps you align the hairs all straight and upwards, basically isolating each hair automatically on the shield and lifting it upwards. So it's kind of like a guideline for your isolation. Now there's so many reasons as to why this is rubbish. So first and foremost, if you are unable to already isolate your lashes and lift them upwards and straight, then you shouldn't be doing a lash lift in the first place. If you have to use a shield to help you, then realistically you're not trained enough in order to create the best lash lifts. So if you do need these type of shields to create good lash lifts, I would really suggest going back and finding a good person to train with so that you can use normal shields and you can isolate properly using the correct tools. Another problem with these types of shields is because they are grooved, you're going to have product residue built up in these shields, which if you're not going to be washing the lashes after you finish the lash lift, that's going to cause product buildup, which could also create over-processing once the client leaves. So avoid these shields at all costs. Absolute waste of money. They do not help you unless you are such a rookie lash lift artist that you need this physical help. But again, if you need these, it just means that you haven't been trained properly, and I would go back to school.